And we're going to start the recording for drafting 131. Look at the schedule first. We are on the 329, March 29th, and we're working on 3D solids, right? When I have a second review of our project next class, so make sure that you have created more elements and modified what you needed to from our first review. And we got one more week of working on that, and then the week after, we're going to start our last project. So one more week on drawing 4, and then we'll start drawing 5. So let's look at that today. So we already worked uh, on these tools here, except for the one of fillet and chamfer. So we'll talk about that, and that's pretty much it. Okay, let's open our drawing. And there are a couple of tools that we use in 2D drawing called chamfer and fillet. And we have the same tools that work on 3D actually. So let's create a couple objects here. Like that, and maybe after that, we're going to create another one on top of here. And maybe something like that. So typically we will use fillet to create rounded corners in let me copy this in 2D geometry, right? So if I have a rectangle like that, and then I use fillet, I can select to have a particular radius, and then select one object and the other, and it creates that radius corner, right? And then if we use chamfer, the chamfer creates a bevel surface. Okay, let's do chamfer here. We're gonna do angle. maybe we do this distance to be 12, and then the angle is going to be 45, like that. And so this at the bottom is fillet, and this at the top is chamfer, right? And so those are tools that we find in 2D work in AutoCAD, right? So we get fillet, creates a rounded edge, and then we get chamfer that creates a bevel. Now in 3D, we have something similar, with the difference that it will create that kind of object for the whole edge of the plate. So let's go to 3D modeling. And then in 3D modeling, we go to solid, and then we see fillet edge and chamfer edge. These are the two tools that I can use. So let's start with fillet edge. Remember that for fillet, I need to have a radius, right? So let's select radius and enter maybe 2 or 3. I don't remember exactly what this is, but once you do that, then you can select an edge and press enter and done. See, you just created fillet edge, right? This radius gets swept all along that edge. Let's do the same again. Fillet edge, select the edge, press enter, and done. Right? And if we go back to conceptual, you see that it's created that rounded edge, right? And that's what we want. That's how it works. Now, we can also do the chamfer, same idea. So select chamfer edge. The options are the distance, for example, let's make 3. And select this edge. And you can see that it creates that chamfer, right? And the same would happen if we go to the other edge. And that's a really powerful tool that allows us to create geometry as we continue to go. Now, what happens here, if I apply, I'm going to union these two objects because this next process only happens or can only happen if the two solids are union. So I'm going to select this and that and make it one. So now that's one object. And let's do the fillet again with the same radius. This time I'm going to select this edge here inside and press enter and done. See, it just created kind of a reverse, it created a reverse fillet, right? Because it's coming kind of to the outside. Let's do it again. And now we have all of those sides fillet that way. Now remember that for that to happen, the two different solid shapes need to be part of one object. If it's not union, I'm not going to be able to do that. But once you do the union, then you can do it. And that's the idea. So that's the chamfer edge and fillet edge. Hopefully you can apply those tools as you continue to develop your project. Remember that for now, we've seen so far the basic solid editing tools. that allow us to create geometry of 2D profiles. And we have also seen the primitives that allows me to create geometry of the primitive shapes. And so when working with the profiles, I can use extrude, loft, revolve, and sweep. Those are tools that we already saw, and you can apply them to your project as you continue to work on it. Today, I'm going to do a really quick part here that I'm missing, and then I'll start to also apply an elevation here to modify this object. Press pull and polysolid are two other tools that I can use to create geometry. So we've seen primitives, extrude, loft, revolve, and sweep that I can use with profiles. And then two independent tools called polysolid and press pull. These are newer tools than the other ones. And we've seen those again. We also seen some of the solids editing that we can use, intersect, subtract, and union. Later on, we're going to look at extract edges and separate extrude faces. I think we can get to that next class. And also seen the section plane that allows us to create sections, right? And within the solid editing, we've seen slice and thicken surface. And also today we saw fillet edge, chamfer, fillet edge and chamfer edge. And we've seen also previously the shell tool. So that's a lot of work that we've done with basic modeling in AutoCAD. Now, for this next part, I'm going to see if I can get an elevation from my project. And we're going to bring a CAD file and place it right here on this face so that we can create that part. Now, I'm also going to do this. As you can see, this particular wall is missing the top side here, the top area. There are two ways of creating that top area. So let's do that right away. One way of doing that would be to create a wall on top of the other wall. So first of all, I'm going to assign layers to these objects. So this one is going to go to a different layer, layer 1. And now I am going to turn layer 1 off. Once I do that, I am going to create another of these walls. And so I created that before with polysolid. And select where to start. Justify left. There we go. So I create that wall from there to there, press enter, and done. Now let's bring back the layer 1. So basically, I have that object there on top, and I need to use the roof or the surfaces to slice this object. So that's a good application of the slice tool. All right, so let's do it. I am going to select slice, so solid slice. And we are going to slice this object, press enter. And I am going to use the 3-point option here. So press enter for 3-point. And then I'm going to select 1, 2. And on the other side, 3. And press enter. And I'm using the underside of this slope to slice the wall. See, got it. I still need to cut this one, but I need to do that by using the underside on this other side of the roof. So we'll do the same, right? So select slice, select the object, press enter. Now enter for 3 points, and I select this point under that, and then the other one is this one, and press enter. And now let's see if we did it. We did. So now I have the infill area there. So that's one way of creating that. Another way would be to, and let's do that on the other side, to actually create an object that is just that shape, right? And let's go to the back view. And then I am going to set the UCS to view. Okay, UCS. Now select the view option. And now you are perpendicularly here to this view. So I can do a polyline. And maybe what I do is I select wireframe. I'm going to do a polyline that connects all of those points, right? From here, maybe do a width that I can see. That's a pretty thick polyline, but that's fine. 1. And then from that point to here and to there. So I just created that polyline. Let's go back to 3D, UCS world. And what we need to remember when doing that is that that polyline gets created on the 0, 0, right? Related to that. Let's see if I can see it now. Let me get back to the back. Yeah, it is there. I can see it. And it should be right here on this side. Let's hide in view. Let's hide this roof by turning off the layer. And see, the polyline was created right there. Because this is where the 0, 0 is. See, if I do a line from 0, 0, oh, let's go to the top view. You see as plan, right? And then that's where 0, 0 was, right? Precisely at that point. And so that's why the polyline was created there. But it doesn't really matter what is created as long as it's aligned correctly. And so I got 2 options. I can move it. Oh, yeah, it's just on the interior corner there. Great. And I move it to that corner. Wireframe view, easier to see. Then it is in the right place. And now I can use that polyline to do an extrusion, right? And so we're going to do that. Extrude. Enter. And we just need 6 inches. And done. And now that object was created without having to do the slice. But as you can see, it's exactly the same. This object and that have the same shape. This was created with a polyline, and this was created with slice. Both work the same way. And so those are kind of the um, workflow questions that I need to ask myself as I continue to work on the project. And go back to the other side and bring back the roof layer like that. So now let's see if I can do this here. I'm going to do an elevation here in CAD. And now I am going to bring that elevation here. So um, let's do that by actually doing copy and paste. It's much better. So I'm going to do open and the elevation. And all I need is really the windows because I want to copy those, but I can copy this whole elevation side right like that. So right click, clipboard, copy with base point, and let's select this corner here. And now I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to put that on top of this elevation. So let's actually do wireframe. No, better just to turn off the, well, no, I can do that. That's fine. And now I'm going to do clipboard paste as a block. And now see, it's pasting on the UCS on the floor. I don't want that because what I want is to paste that on this face of the wall. So I am going to modify the UCS by 3 point. Select 0, sorry, 3 point UCS, 0, X, and Y. And now let's do that again. Clipboard paste as a block. And now you can see it's in the right place. I can do wireframe view or just turn this off again. And the layer management is really important because I can easier see the project as I work. And now I can, I have placed that there. So let's do UCS, front, and UCS by view. Not really in the same place. So something is wrong with my elevation. Let's just move it up a bit. So let's see the distance from here to there. 441.78. So I'm just going to move it up. And at least it's in the right place now. And I could that seems fine for now. And so I'm going to modify this wall actually so that it meets my the new And so that's typically kind of what we can do. I just want to move this up. What was the distance? 4178. And then somehow I moved it in the, oh no, there it is. That's fine. And because it's in the right place now, I could use my elevation to create the openings from the window. Although I had already created some openings here, but if we were to recreate that, let me just do a new object here. So I'm going to do a polyline from there to here. Sorry, a rectangle like this. And we're going to extrude that polyline by the thickness of the wall. And now I'm going to union this so that I get a solid object. And now I would be ready to actually do press pull on this. So I can press pull the opening. Maybe maybe for that I don't need this hinge. So I'm going to go to the block and I'm going to delete the hinge. Line, close it. And now we can do press pull. So see, and that's how you can use an elevation that you have previously created to start creating the geometry that you need. So now let's do the frame. And this frame is going to be um, 0.75 of an inch, right? And so as I go, that's kind of the workflow that I need to do. Okay, great. So I'm going to leave it there today. We'll meet you next time, again, next class, and we'll continue trying to finish this project for next week. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, let me know. Other than that, I'll see you next time.